The Federal Executive Council has considered and approved Action Plan 2022 to 2026 aimed at upscaling Nigerian human rights to international standard. Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami said Nigeria has recorded tremendous achievements in its human rights policy, particularly in the enforcement of the recommendations of the Human Rights Commission over the APO 6, among others. He said with the ratification of the documents by FEC, it will soon be presented to the International Committee on Human Rights.
The need had now arisen for Nigeria to indeed consolidate on the gains and upscale its position from a local observance of the protection of the human right to international standard by way of ensuring compliance with the best practices. It was in consideration of that background that a national action plan for the promotion and protection of human rights in Nigeria, known as Action Plan 2022 to 2026, was indeed designed, formulated by the stakeholders comprising of ministries, departments, and agencies. So the essence of the presentation of the Council memo today is to deliberate on the action plan, review it, and seek approval for its consideration and presentation before the International Human Rights Committee for the purpose of establishing a point that Nigeria is no longer operating at a local scale in terms of the observance and promotion of human rights, but indeed of scaling its international observance to international best practices.
Also, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development sought and got approval for the construction of its corporate headquarters in the central area of Abuja. The 10-story building will be called Agriculture House and is to be funded through intervention by the presidency.
For the construction of a 10-story building, which we will call Agriculture House. Before this time, we purchased a building some years back. That building turned out to not be really adequate again in terms of parking and all that stuff. So what we intend to do is to sell the building that we bought, which we are not really occupying. We will use that money in addition to the current provision for the 2022 and 2023, which total about 6 billion that we'll start the project with. We have already fenced the plot and will commence really building in earnest as soon as possible.
Among other approvals at today's FEC meeting is the revised cost of 49.6 billion naira for the construction of the National Library Complex in Abuja. From the Presidential Villa, Abuja, Folorunso Adegoke, Core TV News.